Hello again, people. Zuckataki is here with the TNA Impact Wrestling review for tonight, October 20th, 2011. Not the best night for wrestling. Like last week's Raw, not a lot of matches. There was only one real match that lasted more than 5 minutes, a squash, and a countdown. But we have a new TNA World Champion. And no, it's not who you think. Let's get down with the first segment. Oh god, this lasted at least a half hour. First, there was Sting coming out saying about Hogan coming back to the Hulk Hogan of old. About what happened. Hogan turning face on Sunday and betraying Immortal, saying, "Oh, I was wrong." And then Hogan laughed, and Sting called out Dixie. Come on, show. Dixie comes out talking to Sting about stuff about him being the voice of reason to her, and she didn't listen because Sting was the one that said Hogan was no good. That's how he founded that little group with Kevin Nash, because they both knew Hogan was up to no good. They knew he and Bishop were ruling with an iron fist, and that if you weren't immortal, you were out. So Sting, that's why Sting turned heel on Hogan when Hogan was a face before Immortal was founded back in April of 2010. What was it, April 3rd Impact? Sting came out doing a Hogan Abyss, AJ, and I forgot who his partner was match. And that's when he attacked Hogan Abyss, because he probably knew then Hogan was up to no good. And that's what he was telling Dixie. Don't trust Hogan. That's what happened. Hogan went to Bishop and Wood went Iron Fist. And Dixie apologized, and she's back as president since Dixie had Sting win the match. Powerful Glory. And Sting as authority as well. He's like a co-president, kind of. He's like the on-screen authority figure since Dixie's going to be running the show back in Knoxville, Tennessee, TNA headquarters. So then here comes Kurt Angle. Come on. Angle comes out talking about being a champ still, and Sting and Dixie. And Storm comes flying out, and Rude does too. Because Rude, we all know, got screwed this past Sunday. And Rude's like, I want a rematch. Sting's like, you got it. Angle's like, when Hogan was still a bad guy, he and Bischoff made a little clause in the contract with me and Wood saying that Wood will only get a shot at me once. Storm's like, you know what? We had a match a few weeks back, Angle, Knoxville, Tennessee, or whatever the hell it was, and it was a DQ, a no contest, since your boys interfered. So you know what? Since Wood can't get the shot, Storm, you get the shot. You face Kurt Angle tonight for the TNA title. And then finally we had our first match. It's sad that Impact, you know what's a bad Impact? When the only match that lasted more than 3 minutes was a knockouts match. I'll explain all of it in a minute. So we had the knockouts tag titles. Tara and Miss Tazmarker defending against Winter and Angelina, with Winter fuming after losing the knockouts title to Velvet. Get to that in a moment. So we had this knockouts match. Typical knockouts match. Nothing special, nothing unique. Typical moves there with Tazmarker and Tara getting the victory and maintaining their titles. Then, another segment. Yes, no matches. And no one was on tonight. No AJ till the end. I'll get to that in a moment. No RVD. And I know why there's less amount of matches and stuff because, hey, it's pay-per-view after pay-per-view. A lot of guys are injured. But you have so much guys that should have been used tonight, that could have been used to fill in time, yet they were all in backstage segments. You saw Robbie E and Rob Terry, Big Robbie, feuding with Eric Young and stuff. Probably the match will be next week with Wani from the Jersey Shore getting involved. As you know on my show, I hate Jersey Shore. I call them the Jersey Whores. They should have the match tonight, not next week. Because you only had one real match and two other matches that were like basically squashes in the real contest. For DQ at least. So it's like, you had all these guys who didn't wrestle Sunday, yet you didn't use them tonight. Stupid. But anyway, Jarrett and Hardy had a brawl going on. I said Jarrett and Hardy will get a match at the next TNA pay-per-view. I don't know the name of it because they changed the pay-per-view so much. You know, Victory Road was in July, and then it was moved to March, and Destiny's X moved to March to July. Pay-per-view titles from TNA move around faster than WWE's pay-per-view, so it's like I can't really tell what pay-per-view is next. If it's Genesis or Final Resolution or not, I don't know. But let's say the next TNA pay-per-view, I said Jarrett and Hardy will duke it out in a one-on-one match. They had a brawl about glory. And then tonight, the fight continued with Jarrett coming out to Hardy that no one wants him. And Hardy's like, listen, Jarrett, crowd wants me. Then boom. They got into a big fight in the ring. And then the security came. And then D'Lo Brown and Al Snow got it on. And D'Lo gave him an opening because D'Lo held Hardy back. And he was like dead center from the corner. Like, Hardy was here. Jarrett was there. It was like dead center. Boom! Low blow. Cheap shot from Jarrett ending the segment. But I say, like I said, Jarrett and Hardy will get a match at the next pay-per-view for the damn show. Speaking of Immortal problems and Immortal people leaving Immortal, The Miz was set to take on Gunner. That's what I'm talking about. This match didn't even last like 2 minutes. Basically a squash DQ with Abyss beating the shit out of Gunner, beating him in the ring, then taking him outside, whamming him against the steel steps a few times. I thought it was going to be a double count out. I was like, oh, don't let it be a count out. But then it dragged him back in. I was like, yeah, it's not going to be a count out. But then Gunner exited the ring, and he did get counted out. I was like, fuck. We had a segment going for 45 minutes. Didn't have a first match until at least 9:45. And it was a knockouts title match and lasted more than any other match of the night tonight. And it actually had an ending. Besides the second wheel match, but it was a squash, basically. I'll get to that in a moment. So Abyss wins by DQ. Beats the shit out of Gunner. Nothing happened. It was a DQ. What else can you say? And then we had Velvet coming out, talking about her winning TNA Knockouts title. Winning it from Miss Winner and the Fatal 4-Way against her, Madison and Mickey. And then she was giving her a speech, and then Karen Jarrett and Tracy Brooks came flying out. Of course, Karen was very mad at Tracy for coming in the match, because I read that Tracy, despite order to be backstage with Karen's special guest referee, came in and interfered in the match. Counted 1, 2, 3 for Velvet. God, Karen was screaming like a bitch tonight. You know what I mean? I never heard Vicky scream this loud. Well, Vicky screams that loud, but I think Karen's a tad bit louder and a little bit more bitchier than Vicky in this case. They're both the same thing. Women who don't wrestle but can intimidate hatred from anybody just by opening their mouths. And boy, Karen yelled her fucking ass off. Like, ah! So she yelled her ass off, screamingly loud. You know what I mean? Screamed at Tracy about, you think I'm a bitch now? You ain't seen bitchiness yet, baby. So it's like Karen's going to be a hellcat to Tracy, because you know she's been treating Tracy like shit since Tracy was doing like that skit last week with Velvet pushing Karen and Tracy being a wheelbarrow, kind of. So Tracy's going to face hell from Karen about that. So then Karen's like, Velvet, I don't like you. We know that Karen hates Velvet with a passion. So like Karen said, you know what, Velvet? I got someone to beat you up. Madison Wayne came flying down. But we thought it was Madison. We assumed it. But then all of a sudden, here comes Gail Kim. Now I started my attack line yesterday that Gail Kim was really returning to TNA, and she did during this taping. Well, apparently she returned in a big way, attacking Velvet, beating the shit out of her, aligning herself with Team Jarrett. Here's the irony. Gail Kim's back in TNA, and Gail Kim won the TNA Knockouts Championship at Battle for Glory 07 in that Battle Royal. Now, that was a Battle Royal that contained a lot of debuts. Madison debuted, Velvet debuted as Talia Madison. Angelina came in as Angel Williams. ODB debuted. So did Awesome Kong. And Ariel from ECW. So Velvet and Gail were in the same Battle Royal at TNA Battle Glory 07, where they crowned the first TNA Knockouts champion, and Gail won it. Gail soon left TNA, went to WWE. Now she's back in TNA. She was to prove to Velvet that she was the first Knockouts champion, and she wants to be Knockouts champion again in TNA. We'll see how she does in TNA the second time round. But you know what happens? Jeff Hardy left TNA, went to WWE, left WWE, back to TNA, become world champion, till we got really fucked up. So that's what happened with Gail. She left TNA, went back to WWE, didn't do nothing there, go back to TNA, become champion again. So we'll see what happens with Gail and Kim in the future. Then, a match? No, another segment. Oh god, there's so many segments tonight. So Eric Bischoff came flying down, confronting Hogan. While Hogan turning his back on Immortal. Blah, blah, blah. Bischoff slaps Hogan. Hogan was going to beat up Bischoff. Sting comes flying down with a baseball bat too. And Immortal flees the scene. But Bischoff ain't safe yet. His son, Garrett Bischoff, we knew that Jackson James was Bischoff's son. It was backstage news, but he never really addressed it until Battle for Glory. It's like, so Garrett was behind Bischoff, punched the shit out of Eric, ended that segment. Now here we go, main event time, right? Make up for a bad Impact with a count out and only one match lasted 5 minutes. Will the James Storm Kurt Angle match be an epic main event? James Storm, Bobby, I'm glad about, the only thing I'm glad about is that no one interfered. That James Storm won fair and square. Basically, James Storm is the new TNA champion. Now, I read the spoiler by accident. I don't mean spoilers for TNA. I don't. SmackDown, I do. So I don't watch SmackDown often because I usually have gigs on Friday night and I miss SmackDown anyway. So I only read SmackDown spoilers. And if Raw's taped, I don't read the spoilers because I watch Raw all the time. So I accidentally read a TNA spoiler that James Storm was going to win a TNA title tonight. I don't know how. And I was looking at the clock, I was like, oh my god, there's only 5 minutes left. So, started with Angle being the shit out of James. And then all of a sudden, Angle was in the corner with James. And referee was trying to break the count. And referee confronted Angle. Then Angle turned around, got a super kick. Last call super kick from Storm. 1, 2, 3. Storm's the new champion. Basically a 1 minute squash for the TNA title. Just like Victory Road! So it's like Victory Road all over. Victory Road main event all over again, but on Impact. A 2-minute World title match. Great job, TNA. Not. So then Fortune comes flying in, you know, everyone but Daniels, Kaz, and AJ comes with Robert Roode, Bobby Roode celebrating a victory for James. And James was going to give the title to Bobby. Bobby said no, he can't win it that way. I say James and Bobby will face off at the pay-per-view. Since Bobby couldn't face Angle again, this would be a perfect way to send Storm and Roode to separate solo careers and permanently ending the Beer Money Tag Team by them facing off for the title at the next TNA pay-per-view and Bobby finally winning it. And at least I'm glad that James won it because he's a TNA original and he hasn't had a real shot yet. Yet Kaz hasn't got the title yet. And he's also a TNA original. That's another topic for another day. So Storm's a new TNA champion in a 2-minute squash. When it comes to wrestling tonight, not a good Impact for wrestling. As bad for wrestling as last week's Raw was for wrestling. When it comes to building storylines with the Immortal Hogan betrayal and possibly Storm getting a defend his title against Roode, who knows what will go down there. And with Gail Kim's return, we'll see how she does. But that is it for TNA Impact Wrestling Review tonight. See y'all later. Then mine just been attacked by the review from Zach. Thank you much. Thank you very much. See y'all later. Yeah.